Thank you, the members who work on job networking at Roswell United Methodist Church, and the people who do that so very, very well. Thank you all very much for doing that. Thanks to Karen Giggs, who has worked with me and asking me to take a few minutes to give an inspirational uh, talk for this program. My family and I have been attending Roswell United Methodist Church since the mid 1980s. My wife is a member of the Roswell United Methodist Choir and is president, and our two boys have grown up at Roswell United Methodist Church. So, welcome to all of you, and I look forward to sharing a few comments with you today. A little bit about my background. I grew up on a farm in Marlborough County, South Carolina. I am the oldest of nine kids in my family. My father was a farm foreman on a farm in Marlborough County. My mother was valedictorian of her black high school graduation class, but she never had the opportunity to seek any kind of post secondary education. All of us were very smart, but we were also very poor. And we were all prepared for an opportunity, if it ever came, to go to a 2 year or a 4 year college. So we were always well prepared, and we just hoped that someday that opportunity with financial resources would come so that we could go to college. I attended Clemson University after Harvey Gantt had been admitted as the first African American to attend Clemson University. I had a difficult time as a freshman because I was the fifth African American to be admitted to Clemson University. But by the end of my freshman year, I liked Clemson, and I ended up being a very successful Clemson graduate. As some of you know, I have a bachelor's degree in textile chemistry and I have a PhD in chemistry from Clemson. I served as a White House Fellow at the Department of Agriculture in Washington, D.C., and I stayed and I worked for 4 years as a Deputy Assistant Secretary. So I I really then looked forward to the opportunity after my service as a member of the Department of Agriculture to coming back to South Carolina. And I joined Georgia Pacific Corporation here in Atlanta, and I worked there for 31 years. And of course, nobody does that much anymore. So today, I want to talk about hope and about your own future. Psalm 39:7 says, "My hope is in thee." Now, hope is more than simply a belief or being optimistic. I'm reading a book called Changing Your World by John Maxwell and Bob Hoskin. And he says that hope is the faith that together we can make things better. So today, I want to talk about you being a person with high hopes. I want you to be a person who feeds on this faith, on this belief and faith in hope. I want you to focus on solutions. I want you to engage in problem solving. And most importantly, I want you to work very hard to change what your future is going to look like. If you have hope for a better future, then you have to keep working to make a difference. Psalm 31:24 says, "Be of good courage, and he shall strengthen your heart and all ye that have hope in the Lord." So you got to have good courage. You got to believe that the best is yet to come, and that is going to be your future that you're going to be looking at. So let's talk about what your future might look like. And I have several points that were always important to me when I was in the business of hiring and actually having conversations with people about their next job. First, you're responsible for a resume. It needs to be a strong resume. It needs to have an objective statement. And frankly, it needs to be properly constructed so that when the recruiter is going through looking for keywords about your career, about your interests, you want to be sure that they do not decide not to interview you for the job that you're looking for. Secondly, be sure to research the company that you're interviewing. Understand what this company does. What are the specific jobs or jobs that you're being interviewed for for this particular company? Otherwise, that'll indicate a lack of interest for the company or the profession that you're interviewing for. Fourth, be prepared to ask some really good questions about the new job or the position that you're being interviewed. Otherwise, it will demonstrate a lack of interest, and frankly, you have to be really well prepared to ask several very, very good questions. Fifth, and I want you to do this all the time, I want you to be friendly. I want you to have an upbeat image. I want you to have great eye contact with the interviewer or with the recruiter. This is really important because if you demonstrate those characteristics, you will not be nervous during the interview process. Now, I want to look at what I would do if I were, in fact, in the process of interviewing someone for this job. What we're looking at in filling that job is that I want us to remember and you to remember that if I'm an interviewer, I want you to remember that I'm interviewing you for the job that I want to fill for my company, not the one that you're trying to convince me that you're capable of doing. Only if they are the same does that matter. I've had people come and sit down and have a conversation with me, and they're really trying not to get the job that I'm trying to fill, but to get one that is available in the company, maybe, but I'm not interviewing for. So remember that. I also want to be sure that your resume has good personal goals in it, that it speaks to you wanting to assume greater responsibility. Those are key words that you want in your resume so that the recruiter does not decide to pass over your resume. And I want you to also demonstrate during the interview that you have a good attitude and that really you are prepared to do more than just the minimum. Importantly, in this process of the interview, I want you to demonstrate your willingness to stay and complete a job. What that means is you can't be at the door ready to leave at 5 o'clock. That can happen some days, but many times you have a job that needs to be completed before you leave as opposed to waiting until the next day. I want you to show that you have drive and that you are committed to getting the job that you are currently being interviewed for completely done. That's looking at your own personal initiative. There are lots of opportunities if you're working, if you're interviewing a large company where there are lots of other opportunities. Don't worry about those. Focus on the job that you have. All those other opportunities will come. Everyone's also looking for good communication skills, whether it's speaking, writing, or listening. And frankly, you need to set yourself up to talk about some of your capabilities with good communication skills. Finally, when you're talking, you want to demonstrate your ability to function as a team member. That's very, very important. Many companies will want you to be a member of a team. So it is very, very important that you be in a position to speak good language, speak with complete sentences. These are qualities that will make you a much, much better candidate. It will improve your future and it will make you better. Hebrews 6:19 says, "The hope we have is the anchor of the soul." This morning, I was looking at the Atlanta Journal Constitution from yesterday, and I just happened to go through a couple sections that I had not looked at yesterday. I came across the AJC jobs slash monster section, and it had an article, how to pick the best skills for a resume. I hope that you will read this article from yesterday. Many of the ideas that I have covered this morning actually ended up being in this particular article. Please note the references to soft skills, good communication skills, problem solving skills, personal initiative, and the ability to work as a team member. Remember, hope, that's what your future is. And it is good for each of you to be involved in our Roswell United Methodist job networking program. And I wish all of you the very, very best of luck. And with that, I'll say thank you. And Karen, thank you very much for inviting me to give these thoughts this morning for your program. Thanks.